I'm going to talk about a weird topic that might not make any sense, but believe me, it does apply sometimes. And so I'm going to talk about how to forget information. You might be thinking, how to forget information? You're supposed to be helping me remember information. I know it's weird, but it's going to make sense. So let's say you have a memory palace, and maybe the information and the images you have in that palace, you don't really need it anymore. So you want to reuse that memory palace. Well, this is what's going to happen if you just reuse it right away. So what happens is, you're like, okay, got the new information, make images for it, place it to my memory palace. Got it. But when you go back and review and walk through your memory palace and go through all the locations, is you're going to have two sets of images per location now. Now, depending on what the information is, it might be really hard to kind of make the distinction between the two sets of images. You're like, wait, the first location, the garage, what image belongs to which information again? And so when you double up using a memory palace, you run into the problem of mixing up information, mixing up the images, and you might not be able to recall the information that you need. And so that's the problem of trying to reuse a memory palace that already has information in it, has these images. And so this is a case where you would want to forget information, right? You want to forget the images in your memory palace so you can reuse the memory palace. Now, I'm not gonna review this big secret that's gonna revolutionize your mind. Like, oh my god, I can forget anything. It's a very simple idea, but it does have some problems here and there. So here's how to forget information. Okay, get ready. Don't think about that information. Okay, just let time go by and don't think about it, and eventually you're going to forget information. So naturally, you forget information when you don't review it or don't think about it, right? Just naturally, that curve. No, up here you have a great recall, right? It's really fresh. You can recall pretty much all of it. But as time goes on, you slowly forget it until you don't remember anything. But it's a little bit different when you use a memory palace. So what happens is, for me personally, when I think of a memory palace and a location, it instantly triggers those images. It pops them up. I'm like, great. So I don't want to review them, but since I thought about the memory palace, it just automatically triggers, and that's really annoying. Now for you, it might be the same thing. So it's really hard not to think about a memory palace because if you're like, okay, don't think about my friend's house. Don't think about my friend's house. And what do? You think of your friend's house because you're saying it, right? And so I guess the best way to not think of memory palace is just don't even think about the information. Don't even think about that palace. Just completely focus on something completely different. Now that's why when I train, I have 60 plus journeys, memory palaces to use. So I rotate them, and by the time 3 days has passed, the palace I used 3 days ago is completely clear, and I can reuse it again. And so you kind of have to find that time frame that works for you. Maybe it's 2 days, maybe it's 3 days, maybe it's a whole week. It really depends on, okay, how good your images were that you create, the stories that you see in them, but also how many times did you actually review that information? Was this a memory palace to use to remember information that was super important at one time, and so you just drilled it and drilled it over and over and over again. You kept reviewing it, so it's really stuck in that memory palace, right? So right when you think of a location, boom, pops up instantly. Then you have a little bit more of a wait you have to wait for in order for all those images to disappear. But yeah, that's, I guess, the secret to forgetting information is not to think about the information because naturally it's going to just go away. But when it comes to memory palaces, you can't think about the memory palace. You can't go through the locations. You probably can't even think about the information because maybe you think of the information, then it jumps to a memory palace. So for example, if you told me, okay, Martin Van Buren, what president was him? Well, was he? I instantly see Mario 64. I see where he is. He's on this wooden platform floating. He's after Andrew Jackson. He's before Henry or William Henry Harrison. And so when you say his name, I instantly jump to that location in the memory palace. So it's really hard to kind of avoid the information, or it's kind of hard to not focus on the memory palace when you hear the information or you think of the palace or location. So hopefully you found this video useful, and maybe you might need to use information. Who knows? If you want to reuse a memory palace, this is the way you're going to do it. You just have to let the information, the images, just fade away completely, and who knows how long it's going to take because it really depends on how much you review the information. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, you found it useful, and I'll see you next time. Subscribe to my channel for more videos on memory techniques, how to do better in school, memory challenges, updates, and much more. Also remember to click the notification bell so you know when I upload a video. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. The links are down below in the description.
You also can check out these videos. If you want to learn all the memory techniques and learn how to apply them to all sorts of information, or if you want to start competing in memory competitions, you can check out my programs down below in the description. Look forward to my next video and get ready to get the best memory of your life.